How are you doing tonight? Hope everything's going well for you and you're ready to reduce that inflammation tonight, because that's what we're going to be talking about. You guys are doing your exercise, you're working out, you're having fun, you're breaking down your body a little bit, and today we're going to talk about some foods that are going to help you break down that inflammation so that you can get back at your exercise and workouts just a little bit quicker.
Yes, so we're going to concentrate on food today, and what we are going to do is we're going to introduce ourselves, because maybe you don't know who we are, but...
this might sound familiar.
Hold on.
Oh, no.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Banana.
Banana who?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Banana.
Banana who?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Banana.
Banana who?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Orange.
Orange who?
Orange, you glad I didn't say banana?
No.
All right, so we're just getting a little bit funny with food today. But yes, as we said, we are going to be talking about foods to eat to help and aid in recovering, so that you don't have to be so achy-pachy all the time, so that your muscles can recuperate, that you can get back in the gym or on the road or wherever you are, working out harder, working out faster. But who are we? Maybe you found us by mistake. I don't know.
This might sound familiar to you. Ready? Hey, I'm Adam Chaim.
And I'm Shoshana Chaim, and we are
Propelled by Plants.
So this is really fun, because this is the first time we're doing a Facebook Live together down here in the Plant Cave. The Plant Cave is where we film. No, the Plant Cave is where we record the Plant Trainers podcast. So we are the hosts of the Plant Trainers podcast.
I'm Adam Chaim.
And I'm Shoshana Chaim. And hi, Amy. How you doing?
Amy. How are you?
Yay, Amy Longard. Had an awesome weekend in Ottawa this week. Yay. I love how internet brings us all so close together.
So we are in our studio right now.
Yes, we're in our studio. This is where we coach calls, nutrition calls, fitness calls, both calls, whatever it is that we're doing. This is where a lot of the writing happens. This is definitely where all of the recording happens. And throughout the house, we do some other work as well. But that is who we are. We are plant-based nutrition coaches, fitness coaches, and podcasters.
We help people improve their quality of life through plant-based nutrition and fitness. And we do that right here from our home.
So if you are watching and you are interested in foods to aid in recovery, then I'd love for you to press that follow button down below, right there. Press that button, because that is what's going to help you know when we go live more often. Because if you're interested in what we're talking about today, chances are you might be interested again. I'd also love for you to tag a friend or to share this out. You could just press the little share arrow button down below too. Post share now, or share it in a group if you're a member of a group. I've posted it in my group, so just Dugas, if you're watching, no problem. I did your work for you tonight. And yeah, so go ahead and share it out, because we here at Plant Trainers on the Plant Trainers page are always trying to encourage you to learn a little bit more, change a little bit more if you can, or if you want to, or if you need to, and help you just be the best that you could be, right?
That's what it's all about, being the best you that you could be.
All right, so I have a question for you.
For me?
Well, for you, I know. I already know the answer, but
okay.
I want to know if you are sick and tired of feeling aches and pains in your body after you work out. I want to know if you're tired of salt baths and half-hearted massages.
That's not really
that kind of,
doing
okay,
much.
I'm done.
Well, that wasn't helpful.
So
Thanks a lot.
So what used to happen is when Adam used to work out, he used to be in a lot of pain. He would play hockey, he would run, he would do whatever, and he'd be like, shush, shush, shush. And I know that means that. Or we'd be watching TV and he'd go, shush, and he'd kind of like kick me a little bit. Yeah, and it'd be like, so, hey, Sabrina. So you start massaging, and then like after a minute, you kind of...
Fade away. And it was kind of irritating, actually. And it's true. After I did my workout, it was irritating for me.
It was irritating for me.
Okay, but listen, I just worked hard. I pushed my body. I did some training. I played some hockey. I ran. Whatever I ran.
your children.
Oh, please, come on. I came home and I was sore and my muscles were aching and I needed a rub down. I needed a massage.
Okay, but then...
I needed a salt bath.
Then we went plant-based.
Yeah, then things changed.
And it really changed. The Epsom salt, yes. See, TT knows exactly what I'm talking about. Pain in the legs, right?
Right, pain in the legs. You need a massage.
Pain in the neck.
No.
Anyway, so what happened was when we started to eat more plant-based and Adam was eating really, really well, really plant-based, all of a sudden, like, this would stop more, and shush, I need a rub down would stop more. And then it was more about like, let's be a couple and let's connect in more, and less like, oh my God, I'm dying.
They want to know about that right now.
Pushing it to the limit. This is a family friendly, right? Family friendly. But then when we learned, we had always been very into food, nutrition, sports, because we were phys ed teachers, personal trainers. But when we got our real education in nutrition, we learned even more the types of foods that were going to help and heal us after workout so that we could feel great. And of course, you're still going to feel those little pulls here and there. You're going to feel that you've worked out, but it doesn't have to be torturous. It doesn't have to keep your day from being its fullest, right? You don't want to hobble around the house or hobble around the office or complain to your boss that like, oh, I'm so sore from my workout last night, right?
And it's okay to be sore. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you want to build up your muscles, you want to grow, and the way your muscles grow is that the muscle fibers actually tear and they grow back together a little bit bigger and stronger. And that's the whole way that your muscle growth happens. And so after you exercise, really the growth is happening during your recovery. And that's why it's so important to be eating well and eating the proper anti-inflammatory foods to aid in the recovery process so that you're able to get back out there and do the training faster and sooner so that you can just get stronger and stronger and stronger.
So I want to say hi to Deepu because we haven't said hi to him yet. And Titi, I mentioned you, but I didn't actually say hi. And there's some other people watching, but I can't always see your names. So one thing, if you saw our little joke at the beginning, great. If you didn't, we did that whole knock knock, who's there?
It wasn't
banana.
funny.
Anyway, so I wanted to talk about the orange part because I wanted to talk about the lactic acid in your muscles. And you're, hey, Betty! The lactic acid builds up in your muscles. And sometimes when you feel that fatigue or you feel that soreness, hey, Jennifer, you're welcome. When you feel that fatigue or that soreness and you can't really go on or you can't perform to your max, it's because the lactic acid has built up. So
do people know what lactic acid is? Like, can you explain that feeling?
So, okay, I guess we don't really, it doesn't really matter what lactic acid is, but the feeling is that fatigueness. It's that pain. It's that cramping. It's that swelling, I can't go on.
Yeah,
it's inflammation there.
It's the swelling feeling that you get in your muscles when your body is super tired. So if you're running and your legs are getting really tired and they start to throb and you're not able to push at the same capacity as you were before, it's because the lactic acid is building up inside your muscles, which is causing that fatigue. So we're trying to reduce that threshold so that you can go further, and we're trying to raise that threshold.
Hey, Tamara, hope you're good. Yeah, so part of the way that we could raise that threshold is we can eat citrus in the morning or before your workout, right? Doesn't have to necessarily be right before your workout, doesn't have to necessarily be in the morning. But what research is showing is that eating or drinking citrus before a workout is going to allow your muscles to deal with that lactic acid a lot better and actually flush it out before it builds up so much that you feel like you can't go on anymore. And of course, we always recommend eating the whole fruit, not necessarily eating the juice, because if you drink too much juice, it can really raise your blood sugars, triglycerides. You try. Say that 10 times fast, right? So what we want is we want those blood vessels to be able to clear out the lactic acid in the muscle. So eating some citrus before your workout or a little bit before your workout, right, is going to be helpful for that. And of course, we're talking about recovery today, but if we can keep you from getting to that point where you actually need the crazy recovery, then even better. What does Betty say? I can't do anything the same capacity anymore. I'm a mess. Betty, you're not a mess. You're a mom of two. You're a mom of twins. Like, that's what happens. That's what happens. But if you want to talk further, PM me. If you want to talk further, PM me, and we could definitely talk about it. But hey, Jessica, I did your job for you. No worries. Thanks for joining us. I've been a mess too, to the point where I could walk and do yoga if I was lucky. Betty, you're amazing.
You guys should probably connect, man.
Yeah, let's connect. So for those of you who've joined us, a reminder: Adam Chaim, Shoshana Chaim, co-host of the Plant Trainers Podcast.
You might recognize me better like this.
on Strava for sure.
Yeah.
Make sure to follow us below. Make sure to tag a friend who might be interested in today's topic and share this out. And of course, if you're part of our newsletter, you'll get this as a YouTube recording as well. You figured this is the topic. I didn't plan on you. Yeah. Hey, Brad, welcome. Okay, so what do you want to say?
Wanted to say that you mentioned the juice of the orange, and the reason that we like eating the whole citrus fruit is because rather than just taking in the juice and getting that spike in blood sugar, we're going to keep the fiber intact, and that's going to help balance out the blood sugar level. So eating the citrus before you go into intense exercise, latest research, this is cutting edge stuff, is showing that your body can reduce the amount of lactic acid and... Giddy up. Let's move on.
All right. So what else I wanted to say before we go on is stay with us till the end, because we're going to be giving away an amazing prize to someone who is interacting, who is watching, who is here, who has commented. So if you've commented, I'll be able to see the comments. And what we're going to do is we have these amazing not now telephone. We have these amazing Four Sigmatic little packets of mushroom-filled drinks that we are going to mail you in the mail. So I'm very excited to
mail
stick
it
with
to
us.
you in the mail.
In the mail.
Just in case you didn't catch that.
Here in North America. All right. So basically what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about that delayed onset muscle pain that we feel sometimes within 12, 24, or even 36 hours after working out.
This even is 48.
Even 48. This is post-exercise. It's soreness, and it's usually due to inflammation in the body because we've used our muscles. We've sometimes ripped our muscles up, we've overused them, or we've used them to their max, and often we get inflammation, we get pain, and we get swelling. And if you've ever felt that feeling, I want you to give little hearts or little thumbs up right now so that we know that you're on the same track with us.
Everybody's going to be giving hearts because there's no way anybody here has not felt that kind of inflammation, soreness from doing any type of exercise, some swelling. It doesn't make any sense. Everybody who's done any type of exercise and workout knows what it feels like to feel that soreness and tightness in the muscles and lactic acid buildup.
Right. So what is the inflammation that happens after? The inflammation is something that kills us, not literally, more figuratively, right? Physically, sometimes emotionally or mentally too. It kills us, and it sometimes keeps us from going on. And it's really not a bad thing, because we need inflammation in the body, because if there's something wrong in the body, inflammation is your body's way of sending up a red flag saying, help me, I'm sore over here, I need to be fixed, la 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 la. And then your body says, okay, blood, let's go, let's get moving, let's go to this area. And then it goes to that area, and you have extra blood, and everything's all these little these like medical alert people are all like dealing with everything in your body on your elbow, and you have inflammation. And then it also lets you know, okay, you have inflammation in this area, so maybe let's stay off of that elbow for a little bit until we're fixed and better. So inflammation is not necessarily a bad thing.
No, but it's your body's defense mechanism. So it's there purposely to try to help you from pushing yourself too far. So
right. So hi, Janet. Hi, Mark. TT's been drinking green smoothies. We're going to get to your question very soon. Hey, Sarah, and hey, Tom. Okay, continue. What were you going to say?
I don't know. You blew my track. I don't know.
All right. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to aid that problem. We're going to try to get rid of the inflammation faster. And when the inflammation isn't to the max, to the extreme, because you have an actual injury, we're going to try to get you back in the gym so that you could be going harder, faster, sooner back in the gym. Someone's saying, hey guys, it's Tom. And okay, Jessica, my question is, should you wait any amount of time when eating before or after a workout? Yeah, so eating before you swim is sometimes a little bit different before you eat to exercise. I think that it's going to be individual for everybody. Adam and I will often eat nothing or just a banana right before, or an hour before, half an hour before. Depends on the type of workout. This is a feel your body type of question, and that is the answer. What we want to do, though, is after we work out, we want to try to eat foods that are high in antioxidants. Those antioxidants, they help to protect your cells. They protect them from, overabundance, free radicals, inflammation, and that's really, really important.
So you said eat those foods after, but anybody out there that is really serious about recovery, that you're going to start eating this type of food before your workout too, so that the recovery process begins before you're already destroying your body.
Right, but it's not just a before and after thing.
No,
it's
an
just
always.
A norm. It's an always.
But that's because the type of lifestyle and the food we eat is purely anti-inflammatory, whereas the Western diet and most of North America is consuming foods that's high in sugar, refined sugar, high in saturated fats and salt, and that is a diet that causes inflammation generally. But we're not talking about the food right now. We're talking about recovery from workouts.
But if you want to recover quicker, eat these foods all the time.
Correct.
If you want to maintain the same lifestyle you have now and you're looking for specific foods to add in to recover even faster, then do that. If you're looking to try to hack it, you could try to hack it. But
there is no success with hacking.
Right.
So let's move on.
All right. So now we're going to get into the
food.
To the food. I was into the tofu and potatoes. Tofu and potatoes.
Yeah.
All right. So make sure that you're sharing this out with anybody that you know. Make sure you're sticking through to the end for an amazing prize. Performance, diet, and lifestyle should have a bit of an overlap.
See,
Quality,
Tom's bang on.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So of course there are other foods that are great. It's not just these 5 types of foods that we're about to talk about, but you definitely want to make sure that these are incorporated in some way. It doesn't have to be every day, but we're going to start with greens. Okay. Big surprise. Hello. Hallelujah. We're starting with greens. Greens are protective to the body in general, right? The more greens you eat, the less of the other ish that you're not eating. So that means that you have chances of lower cholesterol, better heart functioning, better overall energy, and all of that. So, oh my God, I can't concentrate.
Focus.
It's focus.
Here we
Put
got
on my blinders.
Some kale, some dark green. This is some nice green kale, and this stuff is beautiful, filled with anti-inflammatories because of its high level of antioxidants. Oh, this is good stuff.
And polyphenols.
Polyphenols.
They're protective. They're protective to the body, right? So it's really important to eat foods that are high in antioxidants. They're anti-inflammatory, and that's what we're talking about, reducing that inflammation, getting back to what you're doing faster, harder, with less pain. And of course, if you do have pain, don't get back into it faster and harder. Figure out what the kale, what the kale. Oh my gosh. Okay. What else can we include in there? We can definitely include spinach. If you love spinach, give us some hearts. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Spinach, kale. There's so many other dark leafy greens, and that's the key here. It's the dark leafy greens. We're not talking about iceberg lettuce.
Right, and we're not talking about like cucumber, which isn't dark and it isn't leafy either, because the inside of the cucumber is quite white. So we're talking about like a dark, rich pak choi or broccoli or broccolini.
Collards.
Right, all of those.
Hail
great,
to
amazing.
the kale.
Hail to the kale. All right, so how are you going to use these? Well, you could use it in a
What's a
smoothie.
That did not sound like a blender, people.
You could throw it in your soups, right? Like throw extra greens into your soups. You could, just eat it.
Yeah, you could have a giant salad. You could just eat the
when
kale.
We used to go
just
to
like
the
our
farm,
kids. Used to be a kale pop that you used to eat it right off the stem.
Right off the stem, or obviously make it into a salad, right? Some amazing ways to start to introduce more greens is add it if your salads are quite white, like whitish lettuce, like Adam said, like romaine, like iceberg, or more just romaine. Start to add a bit of those leafy greens until you get used to it. Add it. Throw it in soups you're already making. I made a curry the other day, Thai curry, and
that's exactly what I did, Tom. I took that curry, I put it in a wrap, and I loaded it with spinach on top of it. So having these greens in wraps, having them in soups, salads, smoothies, green smoothies, like, was it Titi who mentioned that earlier?
Yeah.
Yes, you could steam your greens, Sarah. That's a great idea. And You're asking,
Yeah,
Tom,
wraps.
are you asking her to rap right now? Because that's a big mistake.
The kids ask me to rap all the time, and I
You
always
guys
end up
don't
using
want to
bad
hear
words.
Hail to the kale.
Yeah. Hail to the kale.
No, don't start.
Mic drop.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's just
Yeah,
mic
let's
drop
mic
it
drop
and keep
it.
going.
All right, so that was number one. Yes, put it in wraps, wrap it all up. Let it wilt underneath your hot stews or lentils or dal or whatever it is that you're making. Awesome. Next, what do we got here? Okay, I'm going to show you this. You tell me if you know what this is.
Oh, come on. They're not going to see it. Oh, now you can see it. You got to show it the inside. The interior is the money spot.
There we go.
Right
That,
there.
my friends, is fresh turmeric. If you have not seen fresh turmeric before, give me a... That's the emoji that I want you to press. If you've seen it, give me a heart. So, yes.
You may have seen it like this.
And that's totally okay too. If you're going to have the turmeric powder, you can't get fresh turmeric, that's fine. If you have a wedding the next day and you don't want to get your fingers all stained, literally all stained with all of this inside yellow stuff, then for sure use the powder, no problem at all. Turmeric is really good for reducing chronic pain and joints. In your joints.
It
chronic
doesn't
pain.
reduce the joints. It
No,
reduces the
chronic
pain
pain in your joints. It's been used for a very long time as treatment for years and years and years and years and years. And it's really great to add into your diet if you are trying to recover from any kind of inflammation, especially for sports inflammation.
So turmeric, you mentioned the orange. If you're actually using the raw roots, you got to be very careful because it does stain everything it comes into contact with. And like Cynthia just said, putting an inch of it into your daily smoothie is a great idea. Great way to get it in. Just remember that it has a bit of a bitter taste. And so masking it in your smoothie is a great way to do it. And you don't want this orange stuff all over your counter. So just be careful with that. You also don't want it all over your hands because the color from this is what they used to color things back in the day. I mean, if I put this, I'm not going to do it.
Do it.
No, because it'll never come off.
It'll come off eventually. No, you didn't do it. No, because it's not freshly cut.
Saved.
All right, but I'm sure if you did it long enough. I wonder if everybody's commenting and giving us thumbs up because they love us or because they want the amazing prize sent in the mail to them at the end.
But like using the powder is totally cool. Like not everybody has the fresh root available to them, and that's fine. So when you could find the turmeric powder, don't be afraid to use it. Amazing.
Okay, so here is the bigger cousin, I guess we could call it. This is some frozen ginger we have here. Yes,
Tom, you are correct.
Yes, for sure. Adding the black pepper into it. Actually, we're going to mention that at the end in this awesome recipe that we have. But yes, when you add pepper with the ginger,
black pepper,
it's going to allow you to absorb it more.
Makes it more bioavailable.
We also have ginger here. So ginger is really great for anti-inflammatory purposes as well, right? So hey Justin, how you doing? So adding this in to your everyday lifestyle, or especially after workouts, if that's what you're looking for specifically, is great too. So the way that you could use these two things is you could put them in a smoothie, and you're going to want to crack in a little bit of black pepper in there also. You can definitely add them to soups, and pepper goes really great in soups. The other thing that you could do is you could take this, like, half of this and all of this, or even double this, and you could either boil it, you could chop it up and boil it, or you could put it in your blender with some hot water, and you could kind of make it into a little bit of a tea, right? So you blend it all up, put in some not hot peppers, put in some pepper in there, you could put in some cayenne in there, and then it can make a really nice anti-inflammatory tea for you as well. You can grate it into salads, you can grate it into stir fries, all different kinds of ways to use it there.
I love ginger, and about a thumb size, so a little bit less than this piece.
Depends how big your hands are.
I guess, but for me, a little bit less than this piece goes into my everyday smoothie, and it is super duper. It gives it a little bit of that spicy kick, and it really makes my body feel good.
Yeah, so Jennifer is saying it's Ayurvedic to use turmeric and black pepper. Absolutely. Tom, lemon, ginger, turmeric, pepper in a warm
That's your turmeric tea. Yeah.
Macadamia. Yeah. So there you go. You've got what do you call that? It's called
your golden tea.
Golden tea. There you go. Golden tea.
There you go.
I love the lemon in there, and if you're feeling sweet, and you could put a little date in there or date paste in there to make it a little sweet if you need it. If you need it. All right. Are we ready for what is next?
Bring it.
Okay. So next we're talking about. You could forage for all this stuff, man. I was going to say we're talking about something that you could forage for. We're talking about bright, vibrant colors. We're talking about frozen or fresh.
You see that?
It's the blueberry.
Can you see that?
Blueberry.
You can't see it anymore.
Oh, that's frozen.
That's
nasty. I don't like chewing things that are frozen.
But it's delicious.
It is delicious, but I find it more flavorful when it's not frozen. But we've got blueberries here, right? Blueberries.
Blue of the berry.
Right? So we've got blueberries. What else do we have over there? Let's do these two together because I think they're good together.
Right, let's do this.
We've got blueberries. So we've also got...
We got the dark, sweet
cherries. Even better than dark, sweet cherries.
Would be the tart.
If they're available to you, and if you can get them, you can get them in the powdered form. Both of these you can get in the powdered form, or you can get in the natural form. We always suggest the natural form if you can. And when we talk about frozen or fresh, what the companies do is they flash freeze them. They're frozen right away. It's keeping in the nutrients. And why I like that for berries especially is because sometimes by the time you get berries, they're already starting to get you're distracting me with your cherry.
But I'm showing them the beautiful dark sweet cherry.
So it's already starting sometimes to mold, and sometimes you can't even see the mold, and then that becomes an issue. And that's why unless you're buying really fresh berries, unless you're able to eat them right away, or if you want to keep them in the fridge a long time, I always suggest going with the frozen route. Of course, if you could forage for them and get them in your backyard or your forest or wherever it is that you live, that's always amazing as well. Just make sure you know exactly what you're picking and that it's the right kind of berry. But again, you could get the powders, you could get them fresh from the stores, you could pick them fresh yourself, you could grow them yourself, but frozen is okay. And that is one of the biggest questions that I get. Can I buy my fruits and vegetables frozen? Most of the time my answer is yes, especially if it comes down to nothing or frozen. Absolutely. And in some cases it is better.
Brain food right here.
Yes, I can go on and on for hours. I actually do in a lot of the lectures that I do talk about blueberries to the max when I'm talking in corporate settings, but we're not going to do it to the max. What we're going to tell you is that there's been research done showing that tart cherry juice, blueberries, when weightlifters drink it after, they have significantly less pain. They're able to get back into the gym a lot faster, and marathoners. And like we know that this is like amazing. Marathoners feel less pain after eating high quantities of berries, right? Blueberries and tart cherries, especially drinking the juice. But of course, we talked about juice earlier. We always prefer the whole food, eating the whole food, and then they're able to recover faster getting back on the road or the treadmill or the forest faster.
The forest, the trail.
The trail.
Yeah, and these frozen berries are a great late night snack, believe it or not. Like if you're craving that ice cream or something like that, and you don't want to go into the unhealthier direction, grab some dark frozen tart cherries and a little bowl of that's really, really great. And having them as a post-workout snack, throwing them in your smoothies, also really good for inflammation.
All right.
Oh, one more thing about those cherries. If you have them at night, natural melatonin sets in from those cherries and helps you sleep better.
But you also don't want to have them too late and too close to bed because you don't want your body to be digesting that all night. And if you're somebody who doesn't eat before bed, don't say, okay, Adam said I can eat this before bed. I would still stick with what you do. Okay. So you're nuts. You're nuts. All right. So next we're talking about nuts. Nuts and seeds, walnuts, almonds, chia seeds, hemp hearts. These are amazing. They are amazing because they are a good source of protein, easy for the body to break down. They aid in your anti-inflammatory process, and that is exactly what you want. So here's the almonds. What do we have next? Show me.
You're missing the walnuts. But the
I'm
walnuts
missing the
are
walnuts.
a great source of fat, a great healthy source of fat, great omegas.
Good omegas.
Oh,
so do
this
chia
one,
seeds.
This is your hemp hearts.
Hearts.
Hearts?
Hemp hearts.
Hemp hearts. Hemp hearts. Great
Chia
source
seeds.
of omega and protein. And then here we got, I don't know if you could see through this jar, but this is the black version of the chia seeds.
It doesn't really matter which ones you're going to get.
White,
Whichever
black,
ones you
makes
can
no
get,
difference.
people get them. Don't worry about that.
We love them all.
Frozen blueberries with a nut yogurt at night, and cinnamon.
That's
yes,
true.
and what else can you put on there? Get that other jar. This is
this
what
one?
I would add to that,
Oh,
Tom.
look at that.
I would add some cacao nibs to that.
Some
Frozen
raw
blueberries, raw cacao nibs, frozen other cherries, other kinds of berries, and yogurt with cacao nibs.
The cacao nibs are another great antioxidant and a great source of fiber too. And they taste so good and add a little bit of a crunch.
And if you eat it on its own, it's a little bit bitter. And it's not too bitter to eat on its own. But when you start to add it with those cherries and those other...
It's got that smell of like
I'm not really
chocolate liqueur.
eating caffeine these days. So maybe get that away from me, please.
Yummy!
All right. Next we have...
next?
Okay, here.
What?
Pass that.
What is this?
Yes. Just don't really get it in the camera. I wonder if we use this for a podcast. It's going to have the same effect.
What are you doing? Now it's...
What is it?
Oh my gosh, what is that? Does anybody know what this is? And it's not a dark leafy green.
Woo! There we go.
Oh my.
Pineapple.
Pineapple. Yeah. Do any of you know what the enzyme in pineapples are that really reduce inflammation?
Okay, so if anybody guesses that, they could possibly be our winner for the day.
Well, that would be impressive if you can grab that.
That would be.
But pineapples are super anti-inflammatory and they really help reduce swelling. Celery is not in pineapple, Tom. Sorry.
I think he probably wrote that before he heard what we were saying. Because there is a little bit of a lag. There is a little bit of a lag there.
Gotcha.
But pineapple is awesome. If you love pineapple, give us some hearts, give us some hearts, give us some hearts. Pineapple is something, and we talked about this when we did the barbecue live, but pineapple is something that as soon as I got pregnant with my son, couldn't eat it. I would be so excited to eat pineapple because I loved it. I put it to my lips, and the second I would taste it, I would spit it out. It was disgusting. Couldn't eat it. He was born, couldn't eat it still. My mom made pineapple on the barbecue and I was so excited one day, put it in my mouth, spit it out. Daughter was born, still didn't like it until 2 years ago. And she's turning 8 next week. So it took 6 years, longer because he's turning 10. It took 8 years. I had an 8-year lag on pineapple. Okay, so if you want to know if your pineapple's fresh, you should be able to pull out a leaf. But if you need to use as much muscle as Adam just did, then you know that it's not ready yet. The other way is if you go to the bottom and you give a smell, once you start to smell it, it's ready. The more you could smell it, the more ready it is, the more moldy it is.
It's not ready.
You've missed your window, people. You've missed your window.
So Tom knows that enzyme, and it's bromelain, and you are correct, sir. And that enzyme helps break down the protein. It helps you digest it, and it reduces inflammation in the body. And most of it's contained through that middle core area of the pineapple. So
the one that you will throw out.
Yeah, you throw that out, but don't be afraid to eat it. When it's really, really hard, you're not going to want to eat it, but you could still blend it up in your smoothie.
Yes, exactly. Put that middle part in your smoothie. The other thing is I do wait until I could smell it, and I wait an extra day. That way, when I do cut into it, it's ripe enough that the middle part isn't that overwhelming either. Hey, Oren.
Have you ever eaten the middle part and like you get like swelling, tingling in your mouth? Have you ever had that? Because that's the effect of the bromelain that it has on the saliva.
So I know that there are some of you. I know that there. Is he calling you a nerd for knowing all this information?
I think he's calling you a nerd.
Oh.
Or maybe he's calling himself a nerd for knowing everything.
Maybe. But for some people, if you do get that tingly taste, a tingly feeling in your mouth, you may actually be allergic to pineapple. Pineapple is something that some people do have an anaphylactic reaction to. So you do want to not push that limit between, superpowers of pineapple.
Speaking of anaphylaxis, let's just go back to the nuts for a second. And I know we talked about nuts, but if you're someone who has an allergy to nuts, Don't listen to us and eat them. Do not eat the nuts.
Do not eat the nuts. Okay, so in a couple of minutes, we're going to be picking a winner that we're going to be sending our 4 Sigmatic little packages to in the mail. So what I'd like you all to do is if you could please just put a little flag, your country's flag, or write your name of your country if that's easier for you, so that we do know if you are in North America, or if you are overseas, then we can see. But it's really just open right now to people in North America. Oh, you're calling yourself a nerd because you're talking too much.
No,
well,
that's great.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that at all. Okay, so what we want to tell you is today we talked about greens. We talked about ginger and turmeric. We talked about the cherries. We talked about nuts, seeds, and cacao. We did talk about orange, although that was more of a pre-thing. And we talked about pineapple. So what you can do is to be Toronto. Oren, you're Toronto. What?
Get out of here.
Get out of here. What you can do is you can take, and what I did this morning is, can you pass the spinach? I took a cup and a half of spinach. Cup and a half of spinach. I happen to have from our anti-inflammatory shot that you could find at planttrainers.com/recipes. I happen to have
pineapple.
About
juice.
A little over half a cup of pineapple juice. And I didn't have fresh pineapple or frozen pineapple. Maybe I had frozen pineapple in the house, but I had to use it up. So I put that in the blender too. I put a teaspoon of turmeric. If you're new to turmeric, I would definitely start with a 1/4 teaspoon or half a teaspoon. Ginger, I did not put in, but you are more than welcome to put in. I put in 2 tablespoons. I didn't put in banana. That was just for the joke. I didn't put in orange. I ate one this morning before I went to the gym. I put in hemp hearts. I put in 2 tablespoons of hemp hearts, and I put in half a cup of blueberries. And I added a little bit of water to desired thickness, and I made my post-workout smoothie. Now, it wasn't like I got home from the gym and I said, okay, I'm home now. I've got to have my post-workout smoothie. It was more like when I was ready to have it, that's what I had. It was my next meal or my next snack after the workout. It wasn't like workout, eat, workout, eat. It's not a control thing. It's not workout equals eat. It's when I'm hungry or when I'm supposed to. That is when I eat.
So for those of you that were actually paying attention to all 5 of these bullets that we talked about, the greens, ginger, turmeric, blueberry, nuts and seeds, and pineapple, that's a recipe right there. That's what she's been trying to tell you these last 10 minutes. If you choose those things, you can very easily make a beautiful recovery smoothie using those 5 points that we talked about just today.
All right, so let me see what I have here. We have, what's Tom trying to tell us?
Tom's telling us about 4 Sigmatic and how amazing it is that mushrooms are actually an incredible superfood that gives so many nutrients and really has so many benefits. And we're so happy that we partnered up with them. So
right, so they are actually a sponsor of the podcast right now. If you go to 4 Sigmatic/Plant Trainers, then you'll get automatically 15% off your order. If you just go to the regular site and put in Plant Trainers at checkout, you'll also get 15% off at the end. So I've had the turmeric tea, which was amazing. I also had the hot chocolate with Reiki.
Yeah,
reishi, the hot chocolate with reishi, which was great too. Adam is, what's your go-to?
I'm mushroom coffee with cordyceps and chaga.
Yeah. So, you know,
amazing.
They've got great stuff. We're not really doing an ad for them right now, but we are sending you them in the mail. And if you are going to buy them, then help out the Plant Trainers podcast by using our 15% off promotion code. All right. So I have TT in the States, Oren's in Toronto, Jennifer's in the States. Tom's calling himself a nerd. Tom's in the States. Oren's here. Okay, so fantastic. You try that recipe, TT. Oren, we recommend any blender that you're able to afford. It is much better to get a blender in the meantime and then save up for a big one. So, you know, if we're talking about someone who doesn't have a blender, they want to start making soups or sauces or dressings or smoothies in their blender, you know, go to Walmart, get what you can, and then start saving, because it is a game changer when you start using the big ones. We're about the Vitamix. I've tried a whole bunch at different friends' houses, haven't been happy. You have to use different quantity, like you have to, one of them I used, you had to put way too much stuff to be able to get it blend properly. Our Vitamix has been with us for about 8 years or something. Still going. Customer service is amazing. We don't make a dime off them. We don't sell them. We just use them. And if you're going to ask me which one to get, I would say, unless you need it for specific purposes, get whichever one's on sale at Costco.
And we have a podcast coming up.
We do actually. We will have
Life is No
Yolk on, and they're all about the Vitamix, and they will teach you how to choose a high-speed blender. But in the meantime, it's just about whatever you can get your hands on. When we got the Vitamix, we had our other one, which is like Cuisinart, which was pretty good, sitting in the basement forever, and we just gifted it to
The truth is,
family.
any blender can do the job. It depends on how chunky you want to keep it and how smooth you want it to be.
How smooth is your move?
Don't start
how
dancing
chunky
again.
is your monkey?
Amazing.
But if you want to make like banana and ice cream, it's really hard to do it without a tamper.
But we make blended smoothies with students at high schools using the Ninja or using the NutriBullet.
Right.
So you could go from the most basic all the way up to the Vitamix or the Blendtex. It doesn't really matter. But if you don't have anything, you need to get something and get started right now because you're missing out. Of course, they could go to foursigmatic.com/planttrainers and just pick them up. Whatever.
Get 15% off there. Yeah. We love you all. Thank you so much. If you're on our newsletter, you'll be getting this as a YouTube replay, so you could share it out. You could also go to the Plant Trainers page and share it out from there as well. We really appreciate everybody being here with us today. Make sure that you like this page before you leave, and we'll see you on Instagram.
See ya.
Bye.